Every now and then when you're doing looking at trail cam videos, you come across a set of videos that really kind of surprises you. And so here's a set in sequence that surprised me. This is taken on the food plot Middle of the Woods on December 11th. You can see it starts with a buck that we've seen a lot on the property eating at the corn pile, and then a second buck shows up, and the difference between the two bucks is pretty obvious. The antlers of the first one are bigger and more prominent than the second buck. But what happens next is kind of unusual and was a bit of surprising to me. So let's watch the action for a little bit. I said the date was December 11th. It's actually November 12th. So right now they're both sharing food pile, the corn pile with the rabbit that pops in and out. And everything seems okay. It is the middle of the rut, or I would say, yeah, it's the middle. Maybe the beginning. It's November 12th. So now we get to see a little bit of dominance starting to take place here at the pile. You can see the rabbit keeps popping in and out, trying to grab some of that corn. And the two bucks appear to be sharing the pile, with the buck with the smaller antler kind of moving in towards the center of the pile. Now it looks like the two bucks are going to go off in their separate ways. But not quite yet. So who owns the pile? It appears the buck with the smaller antlers. Oh, let's get a doe to confirm this. Yep. Oh, and we've got another buck that comes in view, and he wants nothing to do with this, even though there's a pile of corn there, and he just crosses. So obviously, or to me it appears kind of obvious, there's some hierarchy going on, and the smaller antlered buck even turns, and that third buck walks off the food plot completely. He does not return. Now we get a cat and mouse game between the smaller antlered buck and the bigger antlered buck. And it kind of goes on for the rest of the video with the smaller antlered buck controlling the corn pile. I gotta admit, this was really surprising to me. I have seen the smaller antlered buck. In fact, I encountered it twice hunting, and I passed on shooting it because I was looking for the buck with the larger antlers, and it has not been as prevalent on the property during the rut or post rut. That's mostly when I hunted, as it was last year. And my thought is that I had actually thought maybe it got killed, and but now I'm thinking it was probably doing most of its rut activity off the property, and this property is being controlled by or managed or dominated by this buck with the smaller antlers. He's definitely controlling this corn pile. The only thing that I noticed in watching this, if you look at it closely, it does appear like the buck with the smaller antlers is bigger bodied. If you look at the size of his chest and neck, his front legs are heavier than the buck with the larger antlers. So for me, it was not what I expected. You can see the buck with the antlers keeps circling the corn pile, waiting for his opportunity. And the buck with the smaller antlers walks to and from the center of it. And when the buck with the smaller antlers returns, the buck with the bigger antler walks off, giving up the food or the corn pile each time. Finally get a daylight view. It took a while for the trail camera to convert to daylight. The time is correct on it. It was a really cloudy and stormy day, so that's why it was dark. Um, but there you go. Now you think the buck with the smaller antlers is going to walk off, and look, the other buck comes in, takes his spot, but not quite yet. One more time, and look, once again the buck with the larger antlers gives up the corn pile. Kind of interesting, right? All right, Dave out.